Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to another episode of Make It Delicious Mondays. Today we are going to be making grilled steak tacos with homemade tortillas and guacamole. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the equipment that we're going to need to make these homemade steak tacos with tortillas and guacamole. First of all, you are going to need a series of bowls. I have this large bowl back behind me here on the stove that the steak is marinating in, and then I will need another bowl for the homemade tortillas, a bowl for the guacamole, a bowl for lettuce, and a bowl or a plate for the shredded cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
You will also need a tortilla press for pressing your tortillas once you roll them into the balls. For that tortilla press, you will need plastic wrap to keep the dough from sticking and tape to hold the plastic wrap in place. You will also need a cast iron skillet to cook your tortillas, unless you were fortunate enough to have a comal. A comal is kind of similar to a cast iron skillet, except it's very, very flat and the lip only comes up like an 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. It's very, very shallow, very flat, but it is cast iron as well. If you were fortunate enough to have one, I'm jealous. It is on my Amazon wish list, but I haven't purchased it yet. This is just an 8-inch cast iron skillet. This is plenty big for the tortillas because the tortilla press is also an 8-inch press. You will also need your handy dandy chef's knife and a cutting board. To cook the steak, I will be using our gas grill. If you do not have a grill, you can use a larger cast iron skillet or an indoor grill. There's several different ways that you can cook the steak. The grill is our preferred method because we really like the flavor that the grill imparts. We do only have gas, but if you have charcoal or even like a wood-fired something or a Traeger or what have you, feel free to use any of those. So to marinate your steak, I'm using skirt steak. You can use flank steak. You can also use sirloin, although I will say it doesn't turn out quite as well as it does with flank or skirt. Inside this, I have a gluten-free soy sauce. If you're trying to avoid soy, you could use coconut aminos. It tastes very similar to soy. I'm not going to say exactly because it doesn't, but it's similar. It's similar to soy sauce in flavor. So you will also need olive oil, lime juice, chili powder, oregano, paprika, cumin, salt, pepper, and garlic cloves. There is going to be a little clip inserted here soon showing that whole marinade process with the amounts down below in the description box. For the guacamole, you will need avocados, tomatoes, cilantro, onion, jalapeno, lime juice, garlic, salt, and pepper, shredded lettuce, and then we are using a brick of cheese to grate our cheese. We're not grating this entire 2-pound brick because that would be insane. We just buy it this way because it's a little cheaper per ounce with this option. And whenever you buy it in the bricks like this, you don't end up with that anti-caking agent added to it, so it's a little bit better for you because you're not putting weird preservatives into your body. Then, oh yes, I'm sorry, another equipment item that Lily just pointed out, a cheese grater for the cheese. Thank you, Lily. Oh, where was I? Ingredients, right?
Yeah.
Tortillas, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the last of the ingredients.
Yeah.
So to make gluten-free tortillas, we will need a gluten-free flour blend, avocado oil, baking powder. We will also need a little bit of ghee just to impart a slight butter flavor to the tortillas, and salt. And I will have little clips showing how that process is done, as well as the recipe for that down below with the amounts included. Okay, so to help you guys figure out your timing on this stuff, the order of wow! Words.
Yeah,
Words are hard.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why whenever I get words mixed up, I just say words.
Words. Okay, words again. Let me try again. So the order of operations that I'm going to use today to prepare this meal, the first thing is obviously marinating the steak. That takes the longest. I started that this morning and I put it in the fridge. I pulled it out of the fridge about an hour ago. I'm trying to get it to come to room temperature before I put it on that grill. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to make the dough for the tortillas because that does need to sit for a little bit and rest and absorb all the moisture from the liquid that gets added to it. And then after that, we will make the guacamole, slice up the lettuce, and grate the cheese. Then we will preheat the grill and we will get those tortillas rolled out and pressed and cooking in the skillet here. And then once we near the last half of the tortilla dough, we will throw the steak on, grill it 5 to 6 minutes per side. That's personal preference, as to how well done you want it. So to make the marinade, you will need a large mixing bowl or a really large Ziploc bag. My steak is 2 pounds, so it won't quite fit into the Ziploc bag. So I'm going to use this large mixing bowl, and into it, you want to add a 1/4 cup of gluten-free soy sauce. If you don't have a gluten allergy, regular soy sauce is fine. If you want to try to stick to like a Whole30 thing, you can use coconut aminos, but that's a 1/4 cup. And then you need a 1/4 cup of avocado oil, and then the juice of 1 lime. All of that is in this cup together here. So I'm just going to pour it into this bowl. Then for your dry seasonings, you need 1 tablespoon of chili powder. I just have regular ancho chili powder here. You need 1.5 teaspoons of dried cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. And I'm just going to add that to this as well. And then I have 3 garlic cloves that are minced up or finely chopped. I'm just going to add that and clean off the knife a bit, make sure we get all the garlic. Then I'm going to add some salt and pepper. The salt, because you do have the soy sauce, it is quite salty. However, the salt that you're going to add is going to help as far as drawing out impurities from the meat and helping to break down those proteins so that whenever you grill it, you end up with a nice tender steak. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of black pepper. Everything is better with black pepper, right? Except dessert maybe. Okay, then we're just gonna give this a whisk. And, you don't have to go too crazy to get it like super mixed in. Once this is whisked, then we will go ahead and add in our steak. Okay, this steak is in 2 pieces, so it does make it relatively easy as far as marinating it goes, because then I can just move it piece by piece. Okay, so once you have them in the bowl, you want to just kind of move them around, make sure every part is coated with some of this marinade. It's well coated. We just gotta get the back side of this one. All right, and there is still some liquid left in the bowl, which is really good. There we go. Okay, that is all in there. It is going to get covered with plastic wrap, and then I'm going to put this in the fridge until an hour before I cook it. Then I will take it out and let it come to room temperature. I don't want to put cold meats on the grill. One, it will cook the outside far faster than it cooks the inside, which could cause some burning / raw issues. And 2, it just helps create a more finished, finer, more delicious product. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get our tortilla.
Butter?
We are going to use ghee and avocado oil. I'm going to go ahead and get our tortilla dough made up and resting under a damp cloth, and then we will be back, kind of show you what that looks like. Okay? Okay, so while Lily is measuring out the flour for these tortillas, I wanted to go over the equipment needed to make the dough because I forgot about those items at the beginning of the video. So thank you for showing me grace and allowing me to make mistakes here. You will need 2 2 measuring cups. One of them is 1 cup and the other one goes up to 2 cups. You'll also need...
Can I get a butternut?
Yep. You will also need... You will also need a 1 cup dry measuring cup and then measuring spoons to measure out 1 teaspoon and 1.5 teaspoons of the amounts of the dry ingredient. And then I'm also going to add 3 cups of the gluten-free flour blend. Like I said, this is the King Arthur blend. That's like the baking mix blend, not just flour. So you can use it for like pancakes and stuff too. Alright, so that's 3 cups. And then this is 1/3 of a cup total of your fat. So as I said, this is mostly avocado oil with about a tablespoon of ghee added in. Just going to use a spatula here. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. And as always, as in my previous videos, you'll hear this go a whole lot, but it's not as much as it sounds like it is. And then this is super hot water. I microwaved it. This is 1.25 cups. You want it to be super hot because we want this dough to be the consistency of like Play-Doh. And the hot water is what's going to do that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start with using the rubber spatula here to kind of mix this around. You can use your hands, but that water was super duper hot, almost boiling, so I didn't want to like burn myself. So I'm just gonna incorporate this with this rubber spatula really quickly. Once it's incorporated well, check the texture of it. Like I said, you want it to feel like kind of springy and really soft like Play-Doh. Just as a additional like variation, if you wanted to do corn tortillas, it's essentially equal parts corn masa with hot water and salt, and it's going to have the same like Play-Doh-y type texture that you're looking for here. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to use my hands. Yeah, that's like really springy and soft, warm, like hot Play-Doh. Logan thought that was funny. Okay.
I would like to join the video.
Just one sip of that, okay? So it's very soft, very pliable. You can form it like you can with Play-Doh. It holds its shape, but it is also easy to change its shape. So that we're going to call done. I'm going to cover this with a wet cloth because we definitely don't want it to dry out.
Oh wait, hold on. Thank you guys for 200 subscribers.
Yes, thank you so much for 200 subscribers. We have a bit of a flour mess, so we are going to practice our clean as we go philosophy here, and we're going to clean up the countertops, and then we are going to make the guacamole and slice the lettuce and grate the cheese. All right, we got that mess cleaned up, made a whole new one to get ready to make our guacamole. Typically in my guacamole, I like to have mashed avocado, tomatoes, onion, garlic, jalapeno, and then lime juice for the acid with a little bit of salt and pepper. Unfortunately, I forgot to buy jalapenos from the grocery store this week, and it's not pepper season outside just yet. Typically, guacamole is essentially just pico de gallo with the mashed avocado added in. I've seen many different variations. My sister makes it differently for mine than I do, and hers is just as hers is delicious too. So if you already know how to make guacamole, then by all means stick with what you know. Stick with what works for you. Stick with what you like. If you've never made guacamole, I'm not going to show the whole how-to on here. I have a spicy salmon video where I make a chunky avocado salsa that uses the exact same ingredients. I'll link it up here above. That way you can go check that out and kind of get the step-by-step process of how to make guacamole. It's really easy. It comes together in less than 5 minutes. So we are going to go ahead and get the taco toppings ready to go. We have made the guacamole, sliced the lettuce, grated the cheese. Let me just show you what the guacamole looks like really quick. As I said, I forgot to buy jalapenos. Otherwise, there would be diced up jalapenos in here as well. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to wrap this tortilla press with the plastic wrap, and we hold it on. I just use regular Scotch tape. And you want to start with the bottom because that's the most difficult part to get wrapped. All right, Lily, let's lift the lid for Mommy. And then to tape it, we gotta flip it upside down and then wrap that plastic wrap around to the bottom side.
I'll take up a piece.
So you just want to tape it down well enough to where it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to come off while you're using it. And then you do the top piece or the top of the tortilla press. Hold on. Let's flip that around to make it easier for Mommy to tear. You just need your plastic wrap to be big enough to wrap around the top piece and then the bottom piece of the tortilla press. Yes?
It's a monster. Calm down.
It's a monster! It's alive!
And it eats plastic. No.
It eats plastic.
Yeah.
And that is that. Just set this over here. So let me bring this a little bit closer so you can kind of see what we're talking about here. So both sides have plastic wrap and they're just taped. That way you can just remove the plastic wrap after you're done and throw it in the, unfortunately, throw it in the garbage. Now I have this cast iron heating up on medium heat.
The monster will eat the plastic. No.
So let me just show you guys the dough. It feels like Play-Doh. You can form it without too much stickiness happening. It holds its shape. You wanna see if it feels like Play-Doh? Okay, so
It's kind of sticky.
what you're going to do is you're going to take an amount slightly larger than a golf ball, and you're just gonna roll it into a ball. It doesn't have to be like a perfect circle because you're gonna mash it anyway. And then you're going to place it. Lily, can you move right here for Mommy? And then we're gonna cover this back up to keep it from drying out.
Is this a good ball?
Yeah, but it might be a little small. It's a tiny tortilla. Okay, so then you just kind of place it
Then it'll
almost
be my tortilla.
basically in the middle of the press. Put the top down, and then you flip the handle over and mush down. And then lift it up.
That's a big tortilla.
Yeah. And that's what it looks like whenever it's rolled out and pressed. And then,
So I put
yep, I tore it.
and I have a small tortilla.
Okay.
It's okay, but
Cast iron is
That'll
pretty
be-
hot.
that'll
That's a
be-
snack one, huh?
yeah, smash.
You know, like the first pancake is always the
Try it.
yeah. Okay, so what you're looking for on this is you want it to kind of bubble up, and it's gonna dry out just a little bit around the edges, just like whenever you're cooking pancakes, but this is much thinner. And then once it has bubbled up, you can kind of start to check the bottom to see. We're gonna let that go for just a little bit longer because I do want it to start to get a couple of brown spots on the bottom of it. That way I know whenever I flip it, the inside of the tortilla is going to be cooked all the way, because whenever it's undercooked, it really tastes a lot like the flour, and I would rather it taste more like tortilla than flour. Yeah, look at the little brown bit.
Are you SpongeBob?
Can SpongeBob?
Yeah, because remember he flips the Krabby Patties.
He flips the Krabby Patties.
Yeah, and he's really good at it.
This cast iron has really reached its temperature level now, so then the rest of the tortillas won't take as long to cook as this one. Once you do flip it, it's a very, very quick process. Probably 30 minutes max. I mean 30, not 30 minutes, you know, with crispy critters.
Yeah.
30 seconds max, and then it's probably done and you can pull it out. I'm gonna go preheat the grill and then we'll get back to making tortillas. Go ahead and mash. Put it in the middle. Remember, don't mash it too hard because then it gets too thin.
Yeah, when I was making my first tortilla, I mashed it a little too hard. And
That's good. That's good. That's good, Logan.
That's a little thick.
Okay, the tortillas we're about halfway through making the tortillas. The grill is preheated to 450. I lowered the heat because I want to cook this at about 400. So I'm going to go ahead and go out and put this on the grill. Okay, so 450. I did lower the heat. So we have 3 pieces.
These are cookies.
Put them back, please. We have 3 pieces that we're going to be cooking on the grill here. HEB hooked me up with a super value pack. And like I said, we're going to do 5 to 6 minutes per side.
I'm watching it on the camera.
And we're just going to continue cooking these tortillas until that timer goes off. We'll go out and flip it. A couple more seconds.
1, 2, 3.
Hold on, Logan. I'll help you get it off of there, okay?
13, 14, 15.
Okay, so as you can see, it's right at 400. That's perfect. It has been cooking for 6 minutes-ish. So we are going to flip that. Oh, yes. There we go, and then we'll let this cook for another 6. Okay, this has been cooking for 6 minutes again on the other side. So let's go ahead and get it taken off.
Oh, that's crispy.
No, it looks perfect. Okay, so I'm just putting it directly onto the cutting board that I'm going to be cutting it on later. Save myself some dishes. So once we remove this, we're gonna let it sit 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want to cut it too soon, otherwise all that beautiful meat juice.
I just got a fire.
Yes. Otherwise all that beautiful meat juice is just going to come gushing out, and then you'll end up with dry, chewy, icky steak. All the tortillas are finally done. I feel like we probably cooked 47,000 tortillas, although realistically, it's probably closer to 11 or 12. What we're going to do now, the meat has been resting for quite a while. We had to finish, 6 tortillas? So now at this point, we're just going to cut this up. And the way that I'm going to cut it is I'm going to cut it into pretty bite-sized pieces. That way, whenever you're eating your taco, it's really easy to eat and you're not chewing forever. So I'm gonna get started on that. I did have to pour off some of the juice from the board before I moved it because this is some juicy meat. So I'm just going to cut 1 piece at a time. Take my time here. And I like to make the pieces about 1/2 inch. You can see it's about medium on the inside.
That's pink.
Yep, medium is pink in the middle.
I'm watching through the phone.
And I just kind of cut them up into bite-sized pieces. And I put them into the dish. All right, so the steak is all cut up. Let me just show you guys what the finished product looks like here. And Logan said he wants to be the taste tester. Good. Good. Okay. So at this point, we will just plate everything up, and then we will be back to do the final tasting. Okay, that's it. It's all plated up. So now we just take a bite. It was really good. That's really good. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you did like this video and you want to see more kitchen content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. New Make It Delicious Monday videos appear every Monday, and then we have gardening videos on Thursdays. But until Thursday, you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time.